The time of the mage is over. Mages are for the weak, werewolves are for the strong. At least that is the war cry on the lips of Captain Morgan as he leads this mageless Norscan force up against the Central Scrutinizer and his favourite Dino boys. Gonna be a really awesome, fun scrap. Loads of plentiful werewolves dotted all around the battlefield. Very excited for this one. So let's delve into here and check out the builds. And we will discuss Norsca first. Now, 99.99999 times out of 10, I would suggest taking a mage. Now, there are a few instances where taking a mage isn't necessarily super viable, and maybe you want to mix stuff up a little bit, or you just want to be big, bold, and kind of come in there waving around your non-magical warriors and saying, hey, you know what, come at me, bro. I don't need magic to defeat you, and that's what Captain Morgan is doing today. We have a load of marauders dotted all the way along the front line. Cheap, cheerful, and ready for a good fat scrap. Their heads are probably pounding from their hangover last night, but that will only help them go into that berserk trait a little bit quicker. In the center, we do have a load of Marauder Hunter Javelins. Now, these bad boys are absolutely crucial in this matchup. They take down Temper Guards, they take down large monsters. They are just a must-have in every single Norscan build up against the Dino boys, in my little duck opinion. Though, of course, you can kind of get away with it with skirmish cavalry, but I don't know, the Javelins just seem to do way, way more damage. In the back here, we do actually have Armored Skin Wolves, which is the coolest of all Skin Wolves. We have Armored Skin Wolves on the right. In the center, we have even more Armored Skin Wolves, even more in the center, and some lurking in the trees on the left-hand side. We have double Werekin as well, so foregoing the forbidden arcane magic, the Norscans instead shall be invoking the right of Monster Mash, coming in with the double Skin Wolf Werekin. They can certainly pack a punch and do some decent damage, and we have Wulfric the Wanderer on his mighty chariot, raising his shield high. It does actually have a rather unfortunate soul skinned alive onto it. Probably not the best day for little Jerry here, but hey, at least he gets a front row seat to the madness Wulfric is about to invoke, coming in with the Sea Fang as well as a Rage, but no other items or abilities. We also have the Beast of Tashnar hidden in the forest. Now, for the forces of the Lizardmen, we do have Pterodon Riders, 2 units in fact up in the skies. A big fan of this pick in general in 90% of matchups, so very good here as well. Obviously, being able to dominate the air game quite comfortably up against Norsca. With the skin cohorts guarding the flanks, a bucket ton of Saurus Warriors in the center, backed up actually by Croxagores, which is quite an interesting pick. I'm not a big fan of Croxagores personally, but I've seen a load of players kind of utilize them to great effectiveness, so it'd be kind of cool to see if Central Scrutinizer can get the most out of his Croxy boys, and he's certainly a very good player, so I expect them to do relatively decent. We have Skin Cohorts of Javelins just in the back. We have 2 units of them. Double Saurus Scarveteran in the center in an attempt to counteract here the rather angry Skin Wolf Werekins. These guys coming in absolutely naked, it would seem, apart from they are riding on the back of some clever girls. They can certainly do some lovely work there. And we have a Slan Mage Priest of Life Magic in the center. I love his little skink totem here, the little gecko kind of on the side. Very nice work there. He's riding dirty in some Old One drip. Coming in with a Regrowth, Earthblood, and a load of just items and abilities. Really cool stuff. Always awesome to see Slans in action. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. It certainly looks like the Croxagore and the Saurus Scarveterans are going to be the focus of attention for the Lizardmen. They need to heal them up to get the most value out of them, as well as getting value here out of the Slan Mage Priest of Life. And they're going to charge in. They will certainly make a bloody affair of the basic Marauders in the front line. Saurus are actually going to lead the charge here as the armies do clash in, but the Croxagores follow in, sweeping deadly arcs of death with their blades, thumping skulls, bone, and puffs of blood all around the battlefield. Even the Slan can get down and dirty and involved if he wanted to. Now, the Armored Skin Wolves are actually going to do really well up against the Croxagore, though there is a load of Saurus War support, plus the double Saurus Scarveteran can be rather scary. We're going to both go down, driving through the Saurus War. It's not doing too much of an impact, though, as the Marauders do start to break on all fronts. Skin Wolves, as well as Wulfric, having to charge in to plug the gaps in their battle lines. They really need to keep the Marauder Hunter Javelins alive as long as possible. Pterodons are floating dangerously around and could certainly swoop down into combat with the assistance of these skinks on the flanks and do some really nice work. Now in the center, we do a bit of a big old fight here. Double Saurus Scarveteran versus double Skin Wolf Werekin. We do, however, have the shield going down by the Slan as well as an Earthblood, meaning the Skin Wolf Werekins, again, absolutely handled here. Also, the Croxagore being supported with the blood and shield as well, are doing a decent job up against the Armored Skin Wolves, though there is, of course, a lot more support in the form of Wulfric for the forces of Norsca. Now, we do get a real nasty banishment go down. It's going to catch out Marauders, 2 units, in fact, as well as some Javelins. Bit of friendly fire, but hey, it was all part of the plan. Now, I'd love to see these Pterodons just chase off these skin wolves, although they have actually shattered now. So hunting down the javelins, finish them off for good, would certainly put the Lizardmen in a very dominant position. In fact, I think they're already in a relatively dominant position, although the Beasts of Tashnar are able to surround and isolate a Saurus Scarvetron. He needs to fight with friends. He can't fight just on his own, otherwise he will get surrounded and dispatched rather quickly. We do have some skin wolf javelins coming in, or skin cohort javelins, I should say, being launched in at the Beasts of Tashnar, able to help support there. And the Slans having to get down and dirty up against the armored skin wolves, though he is supported by some Saurus warriors who have just found themselves promoted to Temple Guard, looking to try to deal with the skin wolves here, though the Saurus Scarvetron has been forced back. And now this is a big problem. The Slan being so isolated like this, without the support, the Wolfric, the Wanderer, the Skin Wolf Werekin, all coming in for a big fat surround. We do have a load of Kroxigor on the move, though. They really need to swoop in here, rear attack the enemy, and save this Slan, who does get an Earthblood down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Look at that HP just dripping off the Slan. Not having a good day whatsoever, and that is a big win there for the Norscans, coming with that big assassination play. Lovely little boat is going to go down the line on the skin cohorts as well as the Saurus warriors, doing some pretty impressive damage. It does look like the Saurus Scarvetrons are rallying, but they're really struggling up against the Beasts of Tashnar there. We do have some more Marauder Javelins who can come back. Looks like the Pterodon Riders, though, doing a fantastic job escorting them off the battlefield. They do need to drive in, and I imagine a little rock drop down here will do so much devastating damage. Now, the Kroxigor are moving in to try to deal with the enemy. There's a lot of Lizardmen forces here in the center. The Mighty Saurus Scarvetrons just about clinging on, but they have no more access to healing, whereas the werewolves, of course, their skin will naturally knit itself back together, shrugging off at the worst of their blows. And we do get a big fat rock drop come in. That's going to do some nice damage to these Marauders, looking to finish them off. Pterodons certainly want to swoop down now upon the Marauder Hunters, looking to drive them away from the battlefield. In the main big fat melee here, it does look like the beasts have eventually been forced back here. We do have 3 Kroxigor units in here trying to beat down the Werekin, but the Werekin, supported by the armored skin wolves, are quite a big problem. And Wolfric the Wanderer looking relatively healthy in the latter stages of the battle here, up to 130 kills, 2,000 HP, still not too shabby. The Saurus Scarvetrons are lurking nearby, just in a bit of a retreat at the moment. We do have some rallying troops in the distance. There are some javelins, 23 javelins being added in to the fray. Certainly wouldn't go amiss. We do have a little bit of miss micro by the Lizardmen player, couple of skin cohorts chilling and vibing in the back, but of course those micros currently all focused on here in the center as the Kroxigors attempt their best. They're trying to get a grips with Wolfric the Wanderer, but only a couple of models are actually hitting him. They're not kind of doing that full surround, though. It does look like the Skin Wolf Werekin may just about be spent here in the center. Pterodons can also do some lovely rear attacks to help break up leadership quite effectively. We do have some skin wolves down here. I think must have been left in dreaded reserve. Oh no, there they are. Like, there's some armored skin wolves who have not yet entered the fray. I knew there was some lurking around here somewhere, and that's actually going to be quite clutch in the latter stages of the battle, because the rest of the Norscan force is getting quite danger low. They still need to be activated, though. As you can see, the Skin Wolf Werekin is starting to be forced back, and Wolfric the Wanderer getting desperately low right now on HP. Javelins pouring on that fire, thick and juicy into Wolfric, down to just 500 HP. Do they have that one last volley left in them? Throw it, lads, through! Javelins, a couple come in here, not doing too much damage, but now they get rid of their javelins, pull out their clubs, and come for the nice surround. We do have the Skin Wolf Werekin attempting to support here on the right-hand side, but that's a low. Wolfric may indeed go down. Lovely play with the Pterodons, constantly swooping in. Now they certainly want to be chasing away these armored skin wolves, get them off the battlefield as quickly as possible, or break up Wolfric. They go for Wolfric, and they do manage to destroy him. But if some javelins return to the main battlefield, hiding in the trees, we still have that unit though of armored skin wolves, and that is really helping out the balance of power quite considerably, because when you look at it, you're like, I don't know, it's quite a close fight, you could go either way, and then you remember there's this big juicy unit just hiding in the trees, ready to unleash its rage upon the world. Now, Wolfric the Wanderer is being driven away. 200 kills, certainly not too shabby whatsoever. Kind of always cool to see him on his chariot as well. So used to seeing him on his mammoth, it's nice to see him with his different mounts. Pterodons do manage to rally the skin cohorts with a death shriek of, hey, if you don't get back here, we will kill you ourselves. Skin Wolves are trying their best in the center. The Skin Wolf Werekin, though, is going to be going down and once again is broken, but that's not the end of the world for the Norscans, because it can simply fall back, regenerate, and heal up, come back bigger, better, stronger, harder, whatever you want to call it. The Skin Wolf Werekin can indeed return now. The other unit is completely surrounded. Saurus Warriors are nipping at the heels, though, trying to drag it down. It is certainly very bloodied, though. The majority of that blood is of its enemies and not of itself. And there's doing some massive damage here in the center. And it looks like the majority of the Lizardmen forces starting to waver and break. And this is not what they want to see. A fully fit, eager, charging unit of Skin Wolves straight into the flank with a vicious roar is certainly enough to break the children of the old ones. Surely the old ones won't put in a plan of effect which would make us lose our general. This simply cannot be the way, and they decide to flee and try to save their own scaly skins. Very well played to both these players. A Pyrrhic victory for sure. Not too much left on the battlefield for Captain Morgan. One healthy Werekin and a few beat-up werewolves, but very nice game to Central Scrutinizer as well. A real close one. Croc score not quite able to pull it out of the bag today. 200 kills from Wulfric is rather impressive, getting a really nice 2,361 damage value and 200 kills. Very excited to see the value on all these Skin Wolves as well as the Werekins. But before we get to that moment, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe as well. One, it helps out the channel, but it also gives you guys a little bit of a heads up when my videos are dropping. Feel free to comment down below as well what you thought of the battle, and there's a bucket ton of links as always in the description to my Patreon where you can support the channel. You can also do that via YouTube membership. There is a little button below the video. Likewise, there's links to my Discord where you can submit replays to me, get involved in live streams, events and tournaments that I host, or simply, come chill out and have a good time. There's also links down there to my Patreon, loads of standard YouTube stuff. You guys know the drill by now. Check it out if you are interested. But well played once again to Captain Morgan and the Central Scrutinizer. Morgan doing DBD proud there. Really lovely work on Wulfric in general. Now, for both the Werekins, we've got 1,049 and 2,358 damage value. Lovely stuff there. That one was still healthy in the late game. Could have brought even more pain. Now, the Marauders got absolutely spanked, absolutely slaughtered. Very low hundreds for the damage value. Not many kills. Croc score kind of sorted them. Likewise at Thesaurus. As for the Javelins, 0 kills on this first unit, only 151 damage value, but the second unit performing much better, 700 value on them, 26 kills. The other one also kind of faltering. The Norscans getting caught up in their battle rage a little bit too much and driving into the enemy, leave them exposed at the back for the Pterodons to swoop down as well as the Skinkies to overwhelm them. Now, the Beast Tashanar, 483 value, but they did manage to break one of the Saurus Scar Veterans, which was huge. As for the Armored Skin Wolves, we got 5 kills and 298 damage value, but that was the unit left in tactical reserve. We then have 5 kills, 15 and 69, with 520, 1,227 and 1,405 damage value. As for the Central Scrutinizer, the Slime Mage Priest got only 447 value, but of course is more of a support character. Getting assassinated when they did, though, really was a big loss for Lizardmen because they look to be in a dominant position at the moment. 700 value for the Saurus Scar Veteran, 860 for the next one. Not great, but not terrible either. 5 and 9 kills apiece. Little Skinkies both paid for themselves, flooding the flanks there. To shut down the Javelins is always nice. Saurus Warriors, 1.2k, 900, 840, and 569 damage value on them with 27, 79, 48, and 78 kills. King Javelins, 365 and 361 damage value. At least, kind of putting that last nail in the coffin of Wulfric, though they didn't perform too amazing apart from that. Pterodon Riders, 443 and 495 damage value. Not too bad whatsoever. It's particularly been used in the late game really well there by the Scrutinizer, just cycle charging the enemy and chasing off routing troops. Now, for the Croc scores, we did get 39, 30 and 16 kills, 829, 739 and 780 damage value. Not too shabby whatsoever. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace. And as always, stay awesome.